Have you ever wondered if just one tiny thought in your mind could destroy your whole life? This is the story of a man who lived honestly, worked hard, and tried to do the right thing. But because of one greedy moment, one thought he didn't control, he'd lost the greatest opportunity of his life to become the heir to a kingdom. Long ago, in a peaceful kingdom, there was a young man named Lin. Lin was born into a poor family in a small village far from the capital. From a young age, he was familiar with hardship, waking up early to do any job he could find, coming home late to help his parents, and at night sitting under the dim light of an oil lamp, mending his worn-out clothes and fixing his old sandals. Even though he was poor, Lin had something everyone in the village knew about. He was truly honest. If someone needed help, he would always try his best. If the pay was low, he didn't complain. If someone accidentally underpaid him, he would just smile and say, "It's okay, just remember next time." Deep inside, Lin believed, as long as I live well and work hard, life won't abandon me. But as the years passed, not much changed. His parents grew older and weaker. Medical costs increased, and work became more unstable. Some nights Lin lay on his creaky bamboo bed, staring at the broken roof above, and a question quietly appeared in his mind. I've tried to be good all my life, but what will my future become? Still, every morning he got up, picked up his small bag, and went out to look for work, just like always. One day, after walking around all day and still finding no job, Lin felt exhaustion in every step. The sun was already low, painting a tired golden light across the dirt road. His stomach ached with hunger, his legs were sore, and he let out a long sigh as he turned to head home. At that moment, he heard an old voice calling from behind, "Hey there, young man, can you help me with something?" Lin turned around. Standing behind him was an old man with a white beard, wearing a simple but clean cloak. Beside him were 3 large sacks that looked very heavy. "What do you need, sir?" Lin asked. The old man said, "I need to go to the village beyond that hill, but I'm carrying too much. I can handle 2 of these sacks by myself, but the third one is too heavy. If you help me carry it, I'll pay you fairly." Lin nodded immediately without much thought. "Yes, sir, I'll help you." He tried to lift one of the sacks and almost lost his balance. It was extremely heavy. He had to use all his strength to get it onto his shoulder. "Why is it so heavy?" Lin asked, surprised. The old man smiled gently. "Because it's full of bronze coins," Lin thought. He must be very rich. But didn't say anything. He didn't care who the old man was. He just needed the money for his family. They started walking. At first, Lin moved a little slowly because of the weight of the sack. The old man walked beside him, and from time to time, Lin felt the old man glancing at him. Lin noticed those looks and thought, "He's probably afraid I'll run away with his money." He felt a little amused, but he reminded himself, "I'm not that kind of person. I survive because people trust me." After a long walk, they reached the bank of a big stream. The water was strong, but still shallow enough to cross. Lin put the sack down, rolled up his pants, and prepared to step into the water. But the old man stopped at the shore and said, "I'm too old. My legs are weak. If I try to cross with these sacks, I might fall. Can you carry 1 more sack for me? Once we're across, I'll pay you extra." He looked straight into Lin's eyes and added, "But promise me one thing, you will not run away." Lin felt a bit offended. "Sir, I may be poor, but I've never stolen from anyone," he replied. The old man sighed. "These days, it's hard to trust people. That sack is full of silver, not bronze. Lin frowned slightly, but answered, "I'm not interested in stealing. You can trust me." He picked up the second sack, crossed carefully through the water, then turned back and watched the old man cross slowly behind him. After the stream, the road started to rise, leading up a small hill. With 2 sacks on his shoulders, Lin's back ached. Sweat soaked his shirt as he climbed. After a while, he realized the old man was still standing at the foot of the hill, not moving. "Sir, why aren't you climbing?" Lin shouted. The old man replied, "I'm too old. If I climb with this heavy sack, I'll fall. Can you take the last one for me?" He hesitated for a moment, then said in a serious voice, "But you must promise not to abandon me. In this last sack are gold coins. If you run away, I won't be able to catch you." This time Lin really felt angry, said, his voice sharper than before. "Everyone in my village knows I've never cheated anyone. I used to work for a small lending shop. One day the owner told me to lie in the records and increase an old woman's debt. I refused and quit immediately. I may be poor, but I will never trade my honesty for money." The old man looked at him for a long moment, as if trying to see inside him. Finally, he nodded slowly. "All right. I don't know whether you're telling the truth or not, but I will choose to trust you this time. Here, take the sack. Go ahead and wait for me on the other side of the hill." Lin lifted the third sack onto his shoulders. Now he was carrying all 3. The weight was almost unbearable, but inside a small feeling of pride rose up. I'm helping him. I'm someone he can trust. He started climbing. The old man grew smaller and smaller behind him. Halfway up the hill, the wind blew stronger, and the sky turned a deeper shade of orange. Lin stopped to catch his breath, his body trembling from exhaustion. And right then a thought flashed across his mind. If I run now, he'll never catch me. That thought came quickly and could have faded just as quickly. If Lin had let it go right away, everything might have been different, but he didn't let it go. He held on to it. He looked at the 3 sacks on his shoulders. Bronze, silver, and gold. Another thought came, stronger this time. All my life I've been poor, working hard, and still barely surviving. If I run just this once, I could change everything. Then another thought, darker than before. He's old. How many years does he have left anyway? I'm young. Don't I deserve a better life? These thoughts were like black smoke, slowly covering up all the years of honesty he had lived. His heart beat faster. His breathing grew heavy. He clenched his fists and whispered to himself, "Just this once. Only this time." And then he ran. He ran down the hill as fast as he could, the 3 heavy sacks slamming against his back. He ran until he was sure the old man was far behind, completely out of sight. When he finally reached his small house, he locked the door, pulled the sacks inside, and with shaking hands, he opened them one by one. He froze. No gold, no silver, no bronze, only rocks, just small, heavy stones. "What is this?" Lin gasped. He tore through all 3 sacks, but there was nothing else inside. Then, in the corner of one sack, he saw a folded piece of paper, his hands trembling. He unfolded it and began to read. "I am the king of this land. I have no children, no heir to my throne. I left my palace to search for someone truly honest. If you had carried these 3 sacks to the top of the hill and waited for me, as you promised, I would have taken you back to the palace, adopted you as my son, and made you the heir to the kingdom. But since you chose to run away, let this be the final lesson you receive from life. Lin's vision blurred as tears filled his eyes. He dropped the paper and sank to the floor. The house was silent. The only sound was his heartbeat, the echo of one painful truth. Because of one greedy thought, you have lost everything. That night, Lin couldn't sleep. Not because he was poor, not because the sacks were full of useless stones, because for the first time in his life, he felt he had betrayed himself. All his life, he had been proud of his honesty. But in just one moment, he let a dark thought turn him into the kind of person he never wanted to be. He realized that before he betrayed the old man, he had already betrayed his own values. He would never see the king again. He would never become the heir. That chance was gone forever. But he still had one choice left: how he would live from this day on. From that day, whenever a selfish or greedy thought appeared in his mind, he no longer blindly followed it, looked at it calmly and said in his heart, "You're just a thought. I can hear you. I don't have to obey you." He returned to his simple life of work and struggle, but now with a deeper awareness. Every action begins with a thought. If we don't guard our thoughts, even a good person can make a terrible decision. One small thought had cost Lin the greatest opportunity of his life. And so this story whispers a warning to all of us. Our worst enemy is not outside of us. It lives quietly inside our own mind.